This is Eitan Weinstein.
And I'm Naor Menninger, and you're listening to Two Nice Jewish Boys.
Today we want to take a glimpse into the modern life of Haredi women in Israel. As we've all come to know, the young Haredi Israeli scene has been showcased in popular shows like Shtisel. However, as modern lifestyles present an array of challenges, Haredi women are also burdened with difficult choices between pursuing a career or starting a family, studying for a degree, and navigating the unique Haredi dating scene. Our special guest today is none other than Efrat Finkel, a prominent Haredi journalist. With a rich background in reporting on various topics, Efrat brings a unique perspective to the table. As a member of a family of rabbis, including Rabbi Chaim Ze'ev Finkel, head of the Talmud Yeshiva in Tel Aviv, and an overseer at the Mir Yeshiva in Jerusalem, her life is a bridge between Haredi and modern lifestyles. With an impressive resume, including reporting for prominent Israeli outlets such as Walla, Channel 20, now 14, and most recently Channel 13, Efrat has made a career by breaking barriers and glass ceilings. Coincidentally, she is also the first Orthodox Haredi woman to appear on our podcast.
Yeah, hey.
We couldn't be more thrilled to have her on the show today as we explore the challenges and triumphs of young Haredi women in Israel. I had to ask you, first of all, thank you so much for joining.
Oh, thank you.
Why do you laugh? Do you not see yourself as
I love it.
Okay.
So many compliments. I never heard so much.
So what do you think about the reforms in the... No, it's a joke. It's a joke, guys. We're not talking about that because we did
we had so much already.
We did 10 episodes about it, so no. It was a joke.
Let's talk about... we might... Don't completely rule it out. We might touch on it. But where should we start? I want to... It's actually so timely because I had a conversation just this last Shabbat with my I won't say who, but with someone.
An acquaintance.
About the Haredi community. First, I want to ask you, because we're going to be talking about the Haredi community.
Okay.
How representative are you of the Haredi community? Or what Haredi community are you representative of? Not that you're a representative. I'm not asking you to be one.
Of course I'm not. But I always say that I think that if you would ask me, I do feel like a kind of a representative most of the time. But I think if you would ask them, I don't know who's them, yeah? But if you ask them if I represent them, most of them would say absolutely not. But I think that maybe I'm just a very good example for the fact that there is really not one type of being Haredi, yeah? There's so many of us and so many types. I come from a Litvish family, very Haredis, considered very Haredi. It's a Rabbanim family, but it's not an extreme family. If you would go, probably you all know about Mea Shearim. Let's take a very extreme example. So obviously that's not the type of family I come from, but if
how much of the Haredi community is Mea Shearim? Is that
not
a big part of it?
I'm not sure, even 5%. No, maybe even less.
Okay.
I don't really know the
you
numbers.
Have Gul, which is also pretty extreme.
So
way bigger.
So I think if you go really big, then you can divide the Haredi people to 3 groups. Okay. It's Hasidish, Litvish, and Sephardi people, okay? Mm-hmm. Haredi world, Ashkenazi and Sephardi are very, really
segregated.
I'm gonna bring the content, you bring the nice words. We're gonna
make it work.
Yeah, we're gonna make it work together. So
I'm just gonna watch.
So you have the Litvish families, and when you go to the Hasidish world, so obviously you have so many types of Hasidim, yeah? As Gul, this is the biggest, that's the biggest Hasidut. They have, I think, maybe 10,000 families. That's the biggest one. Belz, maybe Belz, the second one, also very similar, maybe 8,000, something like that. And then
Families.
you have, families. And then you have like tons of, I say tons, it's like tons, maybe 20, 30, 40, I don't know, different Chassiduyot. And each of them, like, I don't know, very different numbers. So I come from the Litvish world. I don't know if I should take you back to
You
the...
should. You should.
Should
Yeah.
I?
Yeah.
Well, the differences
history.
between Chassidim and Litvish,
Yeah,
and okay,
absolutely.
we have to go something like maybe 200 years ago. If you go to Europe, like it's just started. I don't know how to say that in English. אבל השכלה, כל תנועת ההשכלה.
Yeah, enlightenment
נכון.
movement.
נכון. I should have known that. אבל then it started, and then the very very the religious world kind of like, I don't know, it's like it hit the ball, like they didn't really know what's happening to them. Many religious people started to go to colleges and like universities, whatever that was there, and it felt like
It was a crisis.
sort of a crisis, and they felt like it's the floor is a bit shaky. So then the Chassidut, I'm being quite shallow, yeah? It's
Yeah, of course.
very, very deep to go there, but like then Chassidut kind of started, and if I want to say that in 1-2 lines, the idea was that Judaism until Chassidut was something that only like maybe very clever people could practice. Like you have to be like a big learner and a big masmid, and like you sit in Beit HaMidrash the entire day, you work Hashem, you study the Torah, you study everything. But there are many, many, many very simple Jews like in Europe that this way of working Hashem like doesn't really work for them. It only keeps them very far. Like they can't do that. They're simple people. They leave the house. They go to work. I don't know. They go to the field, whatever they do. So then Chassidut started. And like everything in Judaism, like many fights, and these rabbis are here, these rabbis are there. And like Chadash Asur Min HaTorah, you know the password? Like this Chadash Asur Min HaTorah is something that you say...
The new is restricted
yeah,
by
like exactly.
the Torah.
Thank you. So it said about trees, something with trees, like you can't eat something that's less than 3 or 4 years, whatever. So people are borrowing this phrase, to any new thing you want to do. Yeah, let's say even these days, if you want to start something new, I don't know, a new way of learning, whatever, something. So people would come over and say, Chadash Asur Min HaTorah.
And you Chassidut,
כן,
if I want to start.
נניח. So they would obviously be against and say, Chadash Asur Min HaTorah. So that's a phrase like they use a lot. So they said also about Chassidut. People didn't really know where it's going. So that's the start of it. And then started like a lot of Chatzerot. Chassidut has like, it comes from the idea of a yard. Like there was a rabbi, the rabbi had a house, and like all the Chassidim used to sit outside in the yard and like, I don't know, wait for the rabbi to finish davening, wait for the rabbi to finish eating on Shabbat, whatever. So the gathering of Chassidim in the Chatzer, in the yard, so it's called Chatzer, but even though today has nothing to do with the Chatzer, they don't really sit physically in one place, yeah? But they have a building, they have a yeshiva building or a synagogue building or whatever, every Chassidut. So now, it started before the Holocaust, yeah? Europe was loaded with Chassidut, many, many types of Chassidut. And then they came to Israel after the Holocaust and they built everything. They built everything like from the start. And now Chassiduyot are very, very big. And the main thing is that's what I would say in a line. The main difference between being Litvish like me and being Chassid is that we don't have a certain rabbi. We are very independent. Like if I want to decide, let's say for example, I just got married, yeah? We said we're going to, I'm sorry, that's the only thing I talk about.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. So I decided alone. Like if that's the guy.
We need to have like a mazel tov or some
Yeah, you should add that. No, but it's gonna go every minute. I'm just gonna remind that all the time. So I actually had no one to ask, like if that's the guy for me, that's not the guy for me. I'm basically very independent, and I would say it's quite similar to you. Like I'm an independent person. Every decision I make on my own. Obviously, I have my parents. You also have your parents. You don't have to be religious for that. So,
But that goes for all Litvis?
Ken, that's the main idea. Obviously, some Litvish are now very Hasidish in their spirit, and they found someone they admire, and they go to him, and they go every Shabbat, they only daven with him, they only eat with him, whatever. But that's not the essence of being Litvish. Being Litvish means, obviously, you have a rabbi, mainly for halacha stuff, like you don't know halacha, so you go ask, yeah? Not all of us know all halacha, like it's a lot of things to know. So if I come to, I don't know, I have a question specific. Oh, now I'm just going to give you an example. We rent an apartment, and it used to be an Airbnb apartment, meaning a lot of people used the kitchen, the oven, many stuff. So we wanted to ask the Rav how exactly we have to prepare the oven to our use, because maybe it was milchi in it, it was fleischig, it was everything together. So my husband doesn't know by heart all types of halachas because he never faced like the need to make the oven kosher. So,
but it's not like in other sects of Haredi life where it's like that Torah, where they go and they ask their rabbis about everything, about if they should open a business. We don't have to do that. We can do that. I'm allowed to do that, but like I would find it similar to maybe living a secular life and then just going for advice to someone that you consider smart.
Yeah,
and
your shrink.
Yeah.
And how many?
So obviously I can't really compare because it's not a shrink. It's someone you go to and you believe that he has a special sight and he really sees things that you can't see because he is so deeply in Torah, and like his whole vision of life is way more clear than what I can see and what
like
you can see. Yeah, maybe it's
kidding.
very hard for me this to compare, but yeah, that it might be a good example. Like I would find a Rav who I find an extremely clever person, an extremely tzaddik, I don't know, has a very bright vision, whatever. Then I can decide I want to make this person my Rav, and I can ask him whatever I want, but I don't need to. And we don't really have this culture of asking everything. It's more of a belief that like you have the Torah and like you have to study and you have to know what to do. If you don't know, if you come to a question that you can't decide alone, whatever, go ask someone, but mainly for halacha, for good or bad, allowed, not allowed. And being Hasidish is literally like living your life with someone right there by your side, telling you, I don't think necessarily forcing you, and obviously various types of Hasidim, like various types of rules and whatever and culture, but like basically you have someone with you all the time. If I would be Hasidish when I was 18, you become 18, then a name of boys come up, you can go to the Rav with like 3-4 names, and the Rav says this one.
And the Litvish and Hasidic communities don't really mix. Do you have friends that are Hasidic, that are...
Friends, first of all, it's always up to you. Like how open-minded you are, how friendly you are. But like Litvish and Hasidim don't always even live in the same neighborhoods. Like I do live in my parents. Like I was raised in a mixed neighborhood. Mixed meaning we had Sephardi people, we had Hasidish, we had Litvish. But like you can go some areas, mainly in Jerusalem, but also Bnei Brak and like also Elad, but you know, areas with Haredi people. You have like, let's say, complete neighborhoods, everyone is Hasidish. Yeah, but it is mixed, but like it's not mixed in Shidduchim, for example. It's very, very, very rare to see a Litvish marrying Hasidish.
Mostly because the Hasidish rabbis won't permit it.
Bichlal lo. I don't think that's the reason. I think that, first of all, they won't even go to the Rav to ask, like, Litvish won't want to marry the Hasidish, and Hasidish don't want to marry the Litvish. It's like, it's such a different culture. Like for me, I was single till I was 29. Okay, yeah, exactly. It's even better than the Mazel Tov sound. Like, it's the exact sound of like, being 29 and a single Haredi. It's quite a rare thing. It's less rare these days, but whatever. It's a big problem. And I would never consider dating someone Hasidish.
What about Mizrahi?
Closer. I could have married a Mizrahi.
But how would the family, maybe not your parents, but the larger family, let's say, how would they react to that?
People can ask, like people can say, wow, I don't know if they would ask, but like maybe if me at the age of 30, I would marry someone Sephardi, like they can, okay, she
Because
waited.
it's a compromise.
Yeah.
But if it was when you were 20?
It wouldn't happen. It wouldn't happen, I'll tell you. If I would be like a modern girl, maybe walking, I don't know, getting to know boys by myself, like doing what I do it today. But today I'm very mature. But like if I would do, when I was 18, 19, I would go out, drink beer, go to bars, like with my friends that are boys. Like it just doesn't happen. Like I didn't have any way to meet a Mizrahi guy. Like where would I meet him?
So maybe tell us now that we talked about how we want to kind of understand the life of tell us how you met your husband, can you? And
sure.
how that kind of,
so it's
how it came to be.
It's a very, it's quite a boring story, but it's funny because I was, again, I was 29. I went through so much and I have the weirdest stories about how I met guys. And this was in America, in Miami, when I was at a trip, whatever. My husband was just a shidduch. Like, that might be an interesting fact because his sisters followed me on Instagram. So they got to know me and they knew me for like maybe a year or two before we dated. And like they told him, okay, that girl, like she's right for you. But then he didn't want to date me because I was on television and whatever. He's like just a yeshiva guy. Why would he think about it? And then like maybe 2 years after, he just said, okay, like I will.
And what does that mean, date? Like what
Wait, he hit you up on Instagram or what?
No. He doesn't have Instagram.
Okay.
He doesn't have Instagram.
He only watched DMs.
He only watched me like on his like siblings' phones. Like they used to show me to him.
Okay.
But then it was just a shidduch. Like it was a regular shidduch. Like he called his sister is friend with my friend. So she called my friend and said, hi, my brother want to date Efrat. So she called me and said he wants to date me. And that was it. But I think your question is a very good question because everybody says, what's a date? So that's also very different between the Litvish and Hasidish worlds. And this is one of the biggest, we say machloikes. I don't know how to say this in English.
Divide.
Disagreements maybe. Like most of Hasidish people, first of all, they get married very young. And I don't want to be too harsh. I don't want to say that they don't have a choice because I'm sure most of them do have a choice. But like you basically, the parents do all the work. Like they can do like try to find out details about you for maybe a month, 2 months. They make so many phone calls. If they want to find out about a boy, they're going to call his roommates. They're going to call his rabbis, his neighbors to see how nice he is in the building. Does he say hello to the women in the building? He doesn't say hello. Many, many layers, of being Hasidish. Like you can be Hasidish in so many ways and levels.
If
also,
he says hello to the women in the building, that's good.
Some might think it's good. Some might think it's less.
It's just another data.
Yeah,
data.
Exactly. And there's so much data to collect, like so much data. So the parents do all the work. And then if they find out that's a great guy for the daughter, then really the daughter doesn't have anything like to check on paper. Yeah, I don't agree with that. I'm just saying what's the method. So they can go out one time or two times.
Doesn't play a role at all?
Yeah, so I guess if the girl goes out and she says like, I can't look at him, then the parents would let her say no, I guess. Also, I think it depends on what house like you grew up. I don't know, if you have a loving, caring, I guess all parents are loving and caring, but like if you have the parents who are very, are going to listen to you more, some parents are going to listen less, I don't know. I was raised very differently. In the Litvish world, you're just going to date as much as you need. Mm-hmm. Yeah? I dated my husband 4 times. And I was 29, meaning most of us are going to get married quite soon. Yeah, it's very rare to go out for like months. It doesn't happen. But like like
You date. You went on 4 dates with your
4
husband.
dates.
Okay, so again, we got to go back. What's a date? How long was the date?
Okay, so the date for Hasidic world is usually happens at home. The boy comes over to the girl's home. They sit in the living room. They give them, I don't know, an hour and a half. And then whatever, somebody's knocking on the door, telling them they have to go. Some get engaged that evening. Like
Isn't
after
that
one
problematic though, to be in the same room in a closed door?
Time. No, because so many people are outside. Like
It's about okay.
they
so-
can the yichud halacha, like if you can be in one room or can't. So one of the netunim, no
Well,
Data.
parameters.
parameters, if somebody can open the door and come in or can't.
Okay.
So if somebody can come in and
Okay.
open the door at every minute, then
Yeah.
it's not.
But
a
this is the Hasidic
So that's
world.
the Hasidic.
You're
So the
Litvish.
Litvish world, the world
Yeah.
that I come from, the parents are obviously going to find out. They're going to do the phone calls, but they're going to do the phone calls for 2-3 days just to find out that it's a nice person, that everybody say nice things about him. But then it's basically your decision. And like you can go out if I would give you average of our house, like we're 5 married already, so I can give you some average. I think maybe average 8 to 10 times that we went out together.
Dates
Yes, and this could last.
amongst the 5 children.
Yes,
And they're
I
all
think
married.
average.
And on average, they went out with their spouses before the marriage. They went out 8 to 10 times.
I think I can say that.
So you were quick.
I'm very quick.
Okay.
I mean,
And I was
for
the
someone so
oldest.
slow who took it
Yeah.
she was quick.
Yeah, I was also quick for being 19. I mean, even if I would be 19 and meet my husband and marry him, like get engaged after 4 times, my parents would say, "Are you sure? Like you don't need more time?" Like there was really no pressure at most houses. Yeah,
Wait, but
I'm
I'm
saying
so
something
curious.
that's very-
What's the date?
Okay, sorry. Yeah.
You guys go to a
so
restaurant.
the date is for us.
You go to like a
I can say
synagogue.
that it's a very. No, what would we do in a
I don't know. I'm just throwing out like the preconception.
So
you know,
when you were younger, the date is a hotel.
Lobby.
like
No-
lobby.
a lobby.
Okay, I was like,
Not
wow,
not a hotel
that's,
room,
yeah,
obviously.
It's a curveball.
A lobby, and like so many rules. I can't tell you all the rules, but like if you're very shy, then you're only going to drink water at the first date. Like only maybe third date when you feel more comfortable, then you're going to go eat something. Like I obviously ate on the first date because I was very comfortable, but like, so there are really not so many rules. Like the rule is like to be very polite, the first, second date, and then third date, I don't know, you go for a trip. Like you go to the zoo, you go to the safari, you go to do something together,
But-
like arts and crafts.
Movie?
I don't know. Not a movie.
Yeah, public
No.
place.
Public
It's
place.
not a bar or a club or anything
Never.
like that. A restaurant
Yes,
can be a first date.
very rare. Depends.
'Cause it's
My
too
age,
intimate.
Yeah. My age, yeah, because it's too. I don't know exactly how to explain. But like,
Coupley.
maybe too
Romantic.
like chilled, too maybe romantic, maybe too close. I don't know. Maybe you have to feel
Too
quite
intimate. That's
maybe.
yeah.
I think you have to feel quite comfortable with a person you go to a restaurant with, and there's something in a lobby that's more like polite, formal. So like maybe third date is going to be less formal, and then you can eat and whatever. But like really,
What's the-
there's no amount of dates you can go on, and there's no really rules to where you go.
But it's probably frowned upon if 2 people are dating for 2 years. No?
It's not going to really happen
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because
Because you
it's
can do
outside
that.
of the norm.
because you can do that.
Meaning you don't date for 2 years.
If it's
without getting-
important for you to be shomer nagia and like do everything by halacha and do everything like the right way, what we consider the right way, you can date someone for 2 years. Also, you don't really need that. You don't need that because the way we look at marriage is so different than the way the secular world looks at marriage. And like,
Shomer Nagia, by the way, guys, is for those who are either not Jewish or means you're not allowed to touch the other sex before marriage,
thank you.
right?
Nachon?
Yeah, it literally means like keeping touch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
most religious boys and girls, they get married, they touch each other for the first time.
Yeah,
Like at the yichud room, at the
Yeah.
wedding. A yichud room is like the room where they meet each other for the first time at
Yeah.
the wedding. And
It
that's for
actually
the first
happens?
time. Oh, happened to me.
Yeah.
Really?
It even happens in like non-Haredi weddings. Some people have like a
Some.
traditional kind of yichud room.
Yeah.
Even like traditional Jewish weddings sometimes have it. Like
Mm-hmm.
my buddy who's not religious at all, they had a yichud room.
Mm.
It's just
Yeah,
like,
it maybe
sometimes it's part of
depends on
like
how-
the traditional Jewish ceremony.
how traditional you are, how sentimental, I don't know.
Yeah.
How much your parents are involved, how much
So-
they're paying.
Your second date, where did you go with this guy?
So me and my husband, we
guy.
only go to eat. That's the only thing we
Okay.
do. So we only went to restaurant, and then the restaurant, I don't know, kicked us out maybe 11:30. So then we just sat in the car till like 5 in the morning.
And how did you know he's the guy for you?
I don't know. I feel like a cliche, but like, first of all, like when you know, you know. It's like something that you can't really explain. But if I want to be, if I can try, like, I don't know, maybe to explain, it's that, first of all, I liked everything he said. Like, before I even had
You can
feelings.
say he was hot. It's okay.
He still is. But it really wasn't the reason. It was one of the reasons. But like, I think this is what helped me, by the way, get married, like get engaged by the fourth date, because people say, oh, you're so childish. Like you did it like as if you were 19. But I think that the reason we got engaged at date 4 is because we weren't behaving like we were 19. Like everything was so on the table and like so open. And like I had a big experience. Like I went out with, I don't know, 40 guys. I never counted, but like something like that. So I think you become very, I don't know, you just realize so fast.
You learn
Like,
about yourself. You know yourself better.
yeah, that's one thing that's very important. But also, like, I think you learn how to get out of the person like very quick, like a lot of information. Like if in the past it used to take me 5 dates, now I can have a half hour with a person and like just ask the right questions and see the way. Anyway, my husband, just besides the fact that like I was sitting in the car and he just knocked on my window and said, like, he tried to be like, you know, like, what's the word? He tried to be like strict with me in a funny way and said like, you have 8 minutes, but like he was so sweet. And I was just like melting in the car. Like, who's this sweet guy that just knocked on my window? But basically it was very rational. And I can tell you, if I would be like secular, I would never marry him like so soon. Yeah. But like, first of all, I liked everything he said. And like we went from topic to topic. And when it comes to, by the way, most of the talk, like when it comes to first date or second date, is about what you believe in. Like we discussed a lot about career stuff and like Torah stuff and like, you know, very like all the spiritual world that for us is like is even more than a 50% of marriage. Like we have to see that we're going the same way. I don't know. We want to share the same values with our kids. Like we see the world in the same way. Yeah. And
Which I guess in previous days, for some men, it would be an issue that you have such a prosperous career.
I think that it looks like that from the outside, but like I had many Haredi guys that wanted to date me and weren't scared and didn't care. Maybe there was one point that could be relevant is like in the Haredi world, there's also the Bichlal, I think the religious world, there's a big value of being like gentle and edel and like not being so loud. And that's something that maybe television doesn't always like go together. So I think most of the guys who dated me wanted to see that I can be shy sometimes and I'm not this maybe avatar, I don't know, persona that you see on TV. They wanted to see like that I'm a nice, sensitive, feminine girl. I would say that. I think in the secular world, there's more place today to women that are not feminine in the traditional way. Yeah. I don't know. They could be feminine in many ways.
Yeah.
And you have all type of guys, and they can like all types of being feminine. So this is maybe one point that I felt that in the religious world, I still have to be feminine in the way they know.
Do you feel that because you're more of a worldly Haredi person, right? You probably meet people of all walks of life, and you work in the media and in the news.
Come
and
to
you,
podcasts in
and you
Tel
come to
Aviv.
podcasts in Tel Aviv,
Drink
and
beer.
you drink a beer, and you hang out. And do you feel like that life has influenced you, has influenced your outlook, and has maybe pulled you slightly away? Meaning, has fulfilled the fears of Haredim, of the Haredi world, meaning pulled you away from it?
I wish I could say no, but yeah, I think that's inevitable. Like, I think that I'm not sure that I'm the exact good like example, because I'm very strong. Like, I just have this type of personality that I can hang like around with like many secular people, and they laugh at something religious, and I feel very proud that I'm religious, and it's not gonna make me weak that maybe you make fun of me. Not you, obviously, but like people that are not nice, yeah? But I promise you, it's very hard. It's very, very, very hard to be like out there and
See how fun it is on our side.
it's fun, but it's also,
Empty.
I mean, I've had I don't want to be like I'm a nice person, yeah, but like listen, I know you're fun. I chose my husband, who's a yeshiva guy, yeah? And I was 29. Nobody forced me. I went through so much. I met guys like, you know, some way more religious, way less religious than I was. You know, you grow up, you see many types of guys, many types of people, and I still chose the exact guy that my parents would want me to choose, and the exact guy that I would choose when I was 19, 20, before I got to know the world. This is very rare. I don't want to say that as it would sound like, oh, I'm so special. Not in this way, bichlal. Just that I knew so hard, like I knew for a fact like who I am and who I want to be. I don't know how to say this in a polite way, but like I always felt like you are not selling me anything. You know, the maximum you're selling me is fun. Because all the values that I can hear about whatever, democracy, whatever, give all examples you want to give, yeah? I don't need the secular world like to
But don't you
to
think
get
like
to know those values.
a woman with a career who's independent and strong is a secular value? It's not a Haredi
And
value.
the basis of it,
Yeah.
of course it is. But like now,
So you're living the most one of the most important aspects of your life.
we don't see it as a secular value. We just see it as life as it is. And this is a very, very Haredi perspective. We just see life as a practical thing. We always do what's practical. Like, if now it's practical to go out and work and become successful and provide to my family and bring money and whatever, so that's the right thing to do. We don't see it as a value that we took from the secular world, because also we do it very differently. Like, if you go talk to Haredi women, they can be so smart and like they so successful, and they work, I don't know, the engineering and programming and everything, but still like career, I don't want to speak on behalf of all of them, but like career most of the time was be on second place after husband and kids. Like, it's never the
it's
same.
also for secular women.
We never like seek money for money. You seek money to have a healthy home, to be able to provide your kids like mental and physical wellness. Like, that's the reason you want to have money. You want to have money that you could have good life, and you could give tzedakah, and you could do tons of like chesed.
I think that's true also for most secular people. You know,
It might be
they
true,
want
but
to
it's not
take care of their
necessary.
children, their grandchildren. That's like the, I think.
So I think the word career, when it stands for itself, it has a lot of meaning in the secular world. It doesn't really have so much meaning in our world.
But for you personally?
I think it has a meaning for me, but it's because I'm influenced. I think that's one of the proofs that I was influenced. Like, to seek career for just being successful for the sake of being successful, it's a very empty thing.
Self-worshipping.
Pardon?
Self-worshipping. in a sense.
It's like we live a life of like. I hope it doesn't sound like that. I come from like I look down on something. Not بخلال, not the point, yeah. But like we were raised like life is like it's very short, yeah. You live it, I don't know, 80, 90, 100 years, and then you go somewhere else, and like it's like a train journey. I don't know, something like that. So everything. Also, I have this question when I am like. Working and Baruch Hashem successful, but like I have those thoughts all the time. Am I doing it for the right purpose? Am I using my power in journalism to really do good? Like I have this conscious all the time. I'm sure that's not necessarily only religious. Yeah, many secular people have. I mean, we don't own the values in the world. Yeah, secular people have many values. But like that's the whole point. And I think when it comes to marriage, it's exactly the same, because when we want to get married, obviously we want to be loved and we want to marry someone that we're attracted to and we love them and we have fun being together. But like the perspective is more of like someone I can build a business with, like someone I can build something very, very, I don't know, holy and successful spiritually together. So,
but didn't you find yourself, because as you say, life is a train and the final stop is always up ahead.
Yes.
And then I just can't forget what you said about fun. About, for us it's fun, but fun is I feel is a very, very important part of life. And I wonder if you never mourned about the lack of fun, from being with guys to eating amazing food abroad, which to me, I think it's one of the most basic pleasures of life. So you never mourned about that?
It's funny, a lot of secular people ask me about the food abroad. I never had that in mind. I don't know why. I don't know how to explain that, but like, imagine you would be vegetarian and like people could come over to you and say like, oh, you're missing this meat and like this country, but like you don't want that.
But you tried it, right? You tried.
First of all, I can always try. Like I'm allowed the same way as you're allowed. I mean, everything you do, I think you're not allowed to do, but I could have tried same way as you.
You have the freedom of will.
Every day it's a new day. Like every minute you could do something you've never done before. And many Haredi people try to do things they've never done before. And when I'm saying they try, it's not necessarily something that's not allowed in the Torah, but like maybe something that's not common. Like, I don't know, go to the movies, yeah? I don't know. I tried having smartphone, whatever. I mean, so some of them that live in a very, very extreme community, they would have to hide it, but it doesn't mean you can't have it and try. I don't know, go on internet, try, see movies, go do whatever you want, yeah? And if
you're a Hasidic, it's a problem. It is a problem.
It depends. Now, these days, there's so many very modern Hasidic people and like very modern Hasidic communities. So, yeah, but it doesn't mean you can't try. Sometimes you're going to have to hide. I mean, if you want to, you can also leave your community and become like a part of a more open community. A lot of us do that. I don't go in this exact same way that my parents go. Like, I found my way, and we're 7 siblings, and I think every one of us have like a specific way. We are similar. Maybe if you look from the outside, we're going to look the same, but we're not the same.
Are any of your siblings secular?
No, none of them.
I see. So
I feel like, sorry.
No, everybody stayed in the community.
I feel like I was thinking about it as it.
But I wouldn't say they stayed in the community. By the way, they're not secular.
They stayed in
they're not necessarily
the broad
in the community.
sense of the religious community.
Maybe in a very like
Haredi
on headlines.
They're not religious Zionist or Kippah Sruga.
They're on the spectrum.
I can't say. Some of them are still young, still figuring it out. I'm not sure they're going to I'm not sure the 7 of us are going to end up Haredi like my parents.
But in general, I feel, and correct me if I'm wrong, that if you're Hasidic, you're more prone to leave religion completely and become a secular because it's so strict. And when you come from a Litvish, then it's because it's more, you have always the choice, it's more likely you would end up to choose to stay in the community.
That's one perspective of life. Some other people might say that dafka, because I grew up in a more open community, that got me confused and like made me, I don't know, more open. And if I would be raised like Hasidic, I would never like open. I don't know. I don't think there are rules like for life.
But you have friends who became secular?
I have many friends who became, not many, but like, yeah, I have friends who became secular. And
what
I can
was
never
the
understand
reaction?
them.
You can never understand them.
Never.
Why?
Are you still in
Because
touch
you
with
were
them?
talking about fun.
Yeah.
You don't know how much fun the religion is. I mean, secular people don't have the fun on Purim. And believe me, I tried. I went to Tel Aviv parties on Purim. And I was at Purim house, like at my parents' house. There's nothing happier than that. Nothing above that. I can't even explain. There's something, and I figured it out when I grew up, that my only way to experience something that it's complete and that it's whole, if there's an aspect of some spiritual like experience in it. I mean, okay, I'm not a holy person. Okay, I go to a restaurant, the food is good, it's nice. But like when it's a holiday meal, like you have the entire family together. I mean, you could agree on that, yeah.
Yeah,
the food is better. Everything is better.
Of course.
And you have so much fun. I mean, we don't define it as fun, but like you have so much fun. And I just gave you another example. I just got married, yeah. A lot of secular friends of mine came to the wedding. I have friends who are boys, yeah. They were in the boys like area. They didn't even see me. Few of them didn't even get to say hi to me. They sent me messages after my wedding that it was the happiest wedding they've ever been to.
But it's more than that. I mean, that's amazing.
And they were dancing till 2:00 at night to the Hasidic music. And it was something I'm not objective. It was my wedding, yeah? But it's not my only wedding that I'm talking about. It's not the only wedding. It's so happy. I can't even, it's something so holy and so sweet and true.
Also,
and like
I think there's like a sense of community on steroids in the Haredi and in just general the religious, like a wedding, for example, you have the Sheva Brachot.
Nachon.
It's like you don't have that in the secular community.
And
you have
everything.
7 days of like wedding. So you have the wedding, which is the amazing,
and then every
you have
night
every
you meet
night for
friends from
7
different,
days.
and like every night of the Sheva Brachot, someone else is doing the Sheva Brachot for you. So cousins from this side and then cousins from that side, and like I don't know what. I'll give you another example. I was very independent. Like I left my parents' house like 3 years ago. I was 26. I used to live alone, like everything, and I had quite a secular life, but I was keeping Torah mitzvot. Like I had a very secular culture, but like keeping Torah mitzvot. And then I got married, and like there's the culture that the young couple, they shouldn't like have to make Shabbat every Shabbat alone. So I'm invited like one Shabbat to my parents, one Shabbat to his parents, one Shabbat to my parents, one to his, and like you are so protected, like so safe, that I think that some people, I think also like experiments say that. I mean, it's not only me that say that. I think we're happier people in a very general way. Like it's a very, very general thing to say. But like Bnei Brak is the happiest city.
Could be.
It's not me who say that. So I'm saying when you talk to me about fun, yeah, it's one aspect of fun, but who said fun is, I mean, to most of my friends, sitting at a bar drinking beer with guys around is the opposite of fun. Like they don't find themselves there. Mm-hmm. And I think that in general, people, like secular people, they really like to look at us and say, oh, they miss so much. But like they tend to forget how close we are, how close Bnei Brak and Tel Aviv is. Like I could just take a bus. I used to live in Bnei Brak. I just took a bus and I was in Tel Aviv, and I could try everything. And let's say, example, Baruch Hashem, I've never done that. But like, if I want to go to a beach, I don't know, with a bikini, I could have done that.
Yeah, but you wouldn't.
Why?
Because
Because it's my choice.
It's your belief.
But it's an everyday's choice.
But for example,
Nobody would recognize me. I mean, for me, it's dangerous because people
Yeah.
know me. But like, if you're
you
not
could have,
known,
but you didn't. No.
a lot of girls did.
Yeah. But for example, I'm thinking like traveling the world is very hard. I'm not talking about the capitals with Jewish restaurants and stuff like that. But like doing a road trip in Scandinavia, it's borderline impossible for Haredi.
First of all, we
People.
don't go there.
Exactly. I'm saying like, you know, it's a very narrow lifestyle in that sense, you know, like
I honestly don't
Cultures.
think you could use the word narrow when it comes to choice.
But you
Narrow meaning you can't see or you don't know. But like, if I want to go to Scandinavia, I could do that.
But Scandinavian road trip, that's the choice you made
You know what
for,
I'm saying.
to,
So in
as the
Italy-
representation of fun.
fine. So
You are
beach
not,
in
Australia,
first of all,
Thailand,
you are not
Australia
going to
road
believe.
trip.
And the more modern the world gets, the more like kosher road trips you have and everything. This is really like, this is growing all the time. But even if you don't have something that's like kosher, I mean, me and my family, we went to Austria for like, and we wanted to go to a place that like nobody goes there and like not many people. We went to a very, very quiet place. We brought like maybe 3 suitcases with food from Israel. We stayed in Austria for 2 weeks and we just cooked there.
yeah, you need to stay in one place,
But
and
it's
you can't do a road trip, for example.
Why? Then you cook for 3 days and you take with you with boxes things that are good for 3 days, or you take a fire with you. I don't know. I think maybe if you're religious and you do that, you have to be a bit less spoiled. But like, nothing is impossible, really.
I want to, but to me, it seems like you're a bit more cosmopolitan than like the average. Like you could be like the Sarah Jessica Parker of like, you know, the No Sex in the City. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like you're not the average. So like, do you feel like for Gul or Hasidic, the other sects of, like, is it the same? Like, is it that sense of community? Do you really feel like they're having fun? Or because the conversation I was talking to you about that I had on Shabbat was about the fact that these communities are controlled. Now, it feels to me, listening to you and talking about the Litvish community, that maybe they're more. By the way, how big is the Litvish community?
Very big, like maybe
20% of the Haredi community?
no, way more. Maybe
50%?
close to 50, maybe.
Wow, really?
In
maybe
Israel, we're
40.
talking, of course.
Yeah, in Israel.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, in Israel.
Okay, so 50% of the entire, including the Mizrahi?
No.
No. So
Yeah.
I think you would have maybe
30?
something like that, maybe Litvish a bit more.
Okay. So what I'm saying is, do you feel like the other, let's leave the Mizrahi aside, because we all know Mizrahim know how to have fun. But but the 30% that's Hasidic and like Gul, do you feel like they're being controlled, that they're, not that they don't have free will, no one's holding a gun to their head, but that they live in a very restrictive society where fun
I think
is...
that you can't give one answer. And I think that we're intellectual enough and we know enough to understand that every family and every different Chassidut is just a different situation. And to come and talk about the Haredi world, that there's more than 1 million people of us. And like, yeah, I felt a lot of freedom, but maybe another girl with my class that went to school with me, she didn't feel the same amount of freedom. Yeah. But like,
No, but you're Litvish. I'm talking about the
so some of them are with a gun to their heads and some of them are not. And I can't speak like, you know, on behalf of them, but also I think that's the most important thing to understand, that we can't talk about them as a one person. There's so many of us and so many of them, because Hasidish are them to me. Yeah. Almost same way as they're them to you. We're very far and we disagree about so much, yeah? And I think that in the Haredi world, you find everything. Yeah, obviously you find people that live with a feeling that they have a gun to their heads, and like, obviously most of the people don't, yeah? But I feel when you look at me and you say, oh, obviously you're so different. I'm not so different. I'm the only one you meet. I'm the only one you know. Like, if you go to my school, and I had in my class 50 girls, I'm telling you, at least 20 girls out of them, you're going to have such a nice worldly conversation with them. And I feel that I'm quite confident to say that most of them live the religious life out of choice. And when you, not you, okay? It's also not nice of me to see the secular people as one person, yeah? But I get that feeling so much that secular people feel as they got it, like they know how
We figured out life.
You figured it out. And we do things because we grew up like that. Mm-hmm. But you chase money, whatever, because you grew up like that. And she chases fitness because she grew up like that. And she chases academy because she grew up. I don't know. You go to so many secular houses that the parents are so strict about going to the academy. And they have a guy who wants to do music. And they would never let him do music because he has to go and be a professor or whatever. And he feels like he has a gun to his head.
Preach. No, I
feel like
I'm on your side of this argument.
Thank you.
100%.
So I feel like it really depends so much on the type of parents you have. And if you have parents that know how to listen to you, and like my parents, I describe them to you as like very worldly, open-minded people. If you would see them in the street, like they're the most extreme Jews you've ever seen. Like my father has this long beard and like black and white. Also, my husband is black and white. But like,
it's hard to tell the difference.
Very
visually.
hard. But my parents, they weren't so open. They weren't so modern. They were just good parents. I mean, they listened to you.
No,
and
come
if you
on.
were
If you
at
came
a
out like
place-
that, they must have been.
You think they've never fought with me for going to TV? What do you think? They were happy about it? No, but after 2 years of
but
done that,
they what's the word, like implemented upon you, not there's a better
Imprinted.
word, imprinted on you values, right?
Imbued in you.
that made you as you are.
Just gonna
So-
keep spitting out
they wouldn't
synonyms
agree
and
with
stuff.
what you said. I mean, I agree with you, but they wouldn't. They would say, "Ma pitom, she went all opposite
I
than
think
what
deep
we
down-
said.
I think deep
she
down
just
they-
went in such a different direction, but we love her because she's our daughter." That's what they would say.
Mm-hmm.
They never imagined they would have a daughter on TV. It's bemet, unpredictable. Bichlal.
we don't have much time, but there's one question I have to ask you. When you have children, Bezat Hashem, and boys, would you like them to go to the army?
Oh, just what I was thinking about.
Just
Yeah.
such
Yeah.
a sensitive question for like 5 minutes we have. I'll try to be short. I think, first of all, the situation with the army is I don't know. We're going to have to figure it out one day. I don't see it keep going this way. But first of all, I want to say that the situation, that it's an unfair situation, has nothing to do with Haredi people, because we never said to every mother, I don't know, you have to send your son to the army. I think Haredi people just believe that it should be like maybe United States, yeah? Okay, so you can ask whatever, how are we going to do this? But I think, I mean, if you go back to the Tanakh days, yeah, in the Navi, Am Yisrael had to fight their enemies. So it says very clear, like, who goes to war and who stays. Whatever, there are many rules, like if you're very old and you're ill, you stay home. If you just got married and you still don't have kids, I don't know, Shana, or the first year or something, you stay home. So many reasons. All the rest, go. I mean to say, I don't think that we have a problem with, I don't know, fighting and going to the army. The problem is, and I think this goes back to what you asked me before, if I feel that the secular world has influence on me. And the answer is for sure yes. So I'm saying I would want my kids to go to the army if, I don't know, I don't see this situation happening, but maybe, yeah, it's going to be in 20 years. if the army is going to be built in a very, very religious way, yeah, but like really, not like you say today, oh yeah, there's Netzach Yehuda. I know personally, my friends, who are boys, went to the army. They went to the army in one way, they came out very different. All of them less religious, but like way less. You can't deny that. And if you ask me, if I want my kids to go to the army and come back secular, no. So I want them to stay in yeshiva. Why would I want to send my kids to a place?
All the yeshiva, Hesder yeshivas who go and become soldiers, they mostly stay religious.
Most of them, but it doesn't come from the Haredi world. It's a very different culture. The whole culture of the Tzionut Datit is really something else. They grow on also Torah ve'avodah, זאת אומרת, learning Torah and providing your family. Haredi world is only in learning. It's very different hashkafot, a very different point of views on life. I'm saying the situation now, if I would have a 20-year-old boy to send to the army, I would be very scared. That's the truth. I mean, it's hard for me to say, but I would.
Ironic after what you told us about your parents.
נכון. I wouldn't want to send him, בכלל. And I knew if I would send him, I would just be davening every day that Hashem will, I don't know, keep him safe and keep him religious. And like, it's very hard
That's
today.
funny. Keep him safe from secularism, or
Both.
keep him safe from the
Both.
the real
Death.
dangers of army.
Both.
Okay.
Being secular to some people is real dangerous.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I mean, it's less dangerous than you would prefer him to be secular than dead.
I'm not sure.
Really?
I'm not talking about me.
Ah, okay.
I
mean,
would prefer him alive
yeah,
anyway,
but-
but I'm not that big of a tzaddik. But like,
Yeah.
if you go to a Rav, like to a person who only sees like truth, I don't know what's the purpose of.
You think the
he
righteous
looks-
perspective might be that
Might be. I don't know, because if you see life as the only meaning, the only reason we came here is because we have a plan and we have things to do here, and then we go back, and it's one big purpose.
Yeah, but if you're secular,
So what's
you
the
always
purpose
have
of being secular?
because then you have the potential for tshuva.
So I guess that would be a good reason to stay alive.
He could have been a rabbi.
Yeah, so I'm Litvish. I can adopt you to be my rabbi.
I accept.
So what's your dream?
Oh, my dream is to have 10 kids.
Mm-hmm.
And
At least.
continue. I don't think I could,
okay.
but I got married quite late. But my dream is to be happy and to raise 10 healthy, happy, religious, successful kids, and use journalism to really do good. I don't know if that's too naive, but like that's kind of a dream of mine.
That's a good dream.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's a good dream.
So, Efrat Finkel, you're on Twitter,
נכון.
tweeting in Hebrew mostly.
Mostly
How can people reach out, find you?
Instagram, Twitter,
Mm-hmm.
WhatsApp.
What's up? Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
They get to get my number somehow.
right, yeah. But Instagram, okay, so you're on
Yeah,
Instagram too.
Yes.
Okay. So, guys, check out Efrat
More than
Finkel
welcome.
on all social media channels.
Yeah, if
Absolutely.
you have questions, I don't know if somebody wants to talk to me, and so please
Reach out.
welcome.
Okay.
Do you do like lectures, talks, something like that?
Yeah.
Ah, you do?
You do?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
You have like a
But
website?
but I don't do it like just of mine. Like I do lectures when people invite me. Like I don't.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
can-
Oh, so that's cool. If you
So-
work at a high-tech company or something, and
Yeah,
you guys
but I've
want
never
to
done
bring...
in English. That was quite a project. But like, yeah. A lot of people invite like to learn about the Haredi world and the feminism in the Haredi world and women and whatever journalism.
Interesting.
Very cool. So, guys,
Very
if you want Efrat as a lecturer, you can reach out and
Or get in touch
Invite
with us if you don't
Yeah.
find, and we'll connect you.
thank you so much for coming.
Thank
It
you
was
so
really
much for having me.
enlightening.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Really
I hope
fascinating.
so.
Bye, guys. See you on the next one.
See you next time.